and final recipe for Christmas brunch, nothing but brunch, is going to be made in a cupcake tin. And I chose it because it's a little bit larger, and this is going to be a Jell-O molded salad. It's a very pretty salad. It's a strawberry pretzel salad. I have never made it in a cupcake tin. So I'm showing you that I'm jumping right out there and doing something I've never done before. We've always just made it in a 9 by 13 pan, but I see no reason why we can't make it in a cupcake tin. So that's what we're going to do. All right, so this has a pretzel crust. Then it has a filling of cream cheese, Cool Whip, and sugar. Can't get any better than that. And then you top it with frozen strawberries, Jell-O, and with pineapple juice. So first off, we're going to make our crust. Once again, we're going to make it in our handy-dandy food processor. So we're going to stick with the same recipe, but we're just going to divide it into 6 servings. You could also divide it into just little cupcake tins and get more. So there's 1 cup, a little bit extra. 2 cups, you can use any kind of pretzels. I just thought these would probably chop up easily. And I'm not going to chop those much before because I'm going to put some sugar in them, so I'm just going to, once again, see, they're going to chop up really fast when you use those small ones. I have 2 that fell in here. All right, then I'm going to put a tablespoon of sugar. There's all my stuff over here. This is our crust. Tablespoon of sugar. And 3/4 cup of oleo. Sorry, this is what we're using. Okay, so that was what we did. And then you're just going to pulse this until it's chopped up into a crust texture. Okay. Then using a spoon or any kind of tool that you have that you want to use, I'm going to use this little 1/8 of a cup measuring cup. We are going to put this into a 350-degree oven after we put it here. And so we're going to go ahead and put this in here and then start it, and then I'm going to show you the other 2 layers. So you want it to be covered, but you don't want it to be thick. So you see that, and this will they'll kind of melt down and be level, but this is what we're going to bake at 350 now for about 10 minutes. All right, the layer, the cream layer of the pretzel salad is made with cream cheese, sugar, and Cool Whip. So I'm going to put, once again, in my food processor. And you can do this with a mixer, you can do it with your KitchenAid, your hand mixer, you can do it with a whisk. It's just a lot easier since I already have my food processor done. And I just take the back of my knife so I don't cut my finger through the foil, put it in there. You can try to scrape it off as best I can. Then you add 1 cup of regular granulated sugar. Make sure that's right. Yes. And we're going to beat that together first. Nice and creamy. Then you're going to add 4 ounces of whipped topping. This is an 8-ounce container, so you would just divide that in half. Put it in here. And then once again, you're going to pulse it because you don't want it to be mutilated and liquid. Okay? I'm actually going to put that out in this bowl while we get our crust out so that you can see what the filling looks like. Okay, the final final step of our pretzel salad. This is a little bit more convoluted just because it has layers. So our crust has been baked. We're, for the magic of freezing, we're putting it in the refrigerator so it'll be cool. Then we're just gonna put our middle layer on top of the crust, and now we're gonna make our top layer. This is a chilled, congealed salad. So we are going to cook the topping, but then we're going to chill it. And so this is something that for Christmas, you can make this 2 or 3 days, 4 days ahead of time, and it would not hurt it at all. Your pretzel, you have to be a little careful with your pretzel crust. You want to be sure that's good and crispy, because if you did leave it probably over 3 days, it's going to get a little bit mushy. So, but first thing we're going to do is we're going to add 2 cups of pineapple juice, and I just bought the little cans because I could use a whole jar or a whole can of the pineapple juice. This is the 100% pineapple juice with no extra sugar. We're just putting it over medium heat. And then I'm going to add 2 small boxes of strawberry jello. And we're just going to heat that up until it dissolves. It's not a difficult recipe, it's just got several steps in it. We love jello at our house. I buy the individual jellos over in the yogurt section, and the kids eat so much jello. And when they think they're starving, they'll eat a jello. And I'm thinking, you're still going to be starving when you get done eating that jello. But they think they're full, so it works, and it's a nice light snack, especially if you buy the sugar-free. So, all right, so I'm just heating this over a medium heat in Megan's beautiful stove, which I'm loving, her KitchenAid stovetop. So it doesn't take long to dissolve. And then through the magic of video again, before we chopped up the strawberries, 2 of those 8-ounce containers of the frozen berries that are already in sugar. So now we're going to use our already chopped up strawberries. And we're just going to let this mix together. Like I said, basically what you want to do is get that jello dissolved into the juice, and now the berries are going to make some natural juice for that too. I don't know if you can see it or not. Can you see it's just cooking up. We have a few almost whole strawberries in this batch because I had to pulse them on the machine, and I didn't want to make them into just complete mush. I want to have some berries on the top. So when we plate this after a while for you, what we can do is you can crumble up a few pretzel crumbs and add just a little bit of sugar to it, and no butter or anything, just the crumbs. And when you flip it over and you have the strawberry on top, you can just sprinkle a little bit of that pretzel crust on top, and so then you have a little bit of salty with a little bit of sweet. All right, we're ready to finish up our pretzel salad. We baked our crust in these little cupcake tins, and I actually said a while ago I wasn't going to spray them, but I'm just thinking that maybe because they're jello molded, I am going to spray them just a little bit, so it won't hurt anything. Just spray right on top of your crust. Be sure to get around the cups of the. We're going to take and use making this little spreader here. Take a little spread, and you can make this as thick or not thick as you want. Probably about a third a cup of filling, and you want to leave enough room for your pretzel topping to go down into that. You don't want to have it bubbling or anything, but you do not have to have your strawberry filling cooled or anything, because it's all going to be chilled together, and that jello is going to be the solidifying factor, the molding factor of it. Okay, so this filling, you can just lick your spoon and it's so good. Of course it is, because it's Cool Whip and cream cheese and sugar. That made it perfect. Now, like I said before, these are really large salads, so these are going to be more adult size. If you are going to have a lot of kids that would eat this, then you might want to do something that wouldn't be quite so large. And then you're going to take your strawberry mixture, a third of a cup. So we're just going to put it right on top to the top of the mold. If you're doing this in a 9x13, just pour the whole thing on there. And like I said, we're gonna even have some whole strawberries, almost whole strawberries in our dish. But normally if you use what's on the recipe card, you're gonna have some just chopped up strawberries. We're gonna have a lot more, we've got a lot more berry mixture than we do the other stuff because we used the smaller container. So that was a little full. So still got a lot of berry mixture left. But I'm going to give that to Megan just to put in a dish, and you can just freeze that or chill that, and it'll just come out as a jello. And putting some whipping cream on it would be a lovely little light dessert tonight. So there's your finished product before it is chilled. So you have to chill it. I would chill it probably for sure overnight. And then when you start to unmold it, you want to run a wet, warm butter knife around the edges of each one of them, and then put a cookie sheet over this, and then flip them all at one time, okay? And you should not have any leakage. If it's still wiggly at all when you start to take it out, it's not chilled. So be sure that you have a firm topping that you can see on the top. And with 2 boxes of Jell-O and that much liquid, it should be good and firm. And then, like I said, be sure you wet your knife a little bit before you try to unmold it, and then just flip it over onto a cookie sheet. And then Megan is going to take it and plate it for you, so you'll see the finished product later on. Thank you for watching us. It's been very fun.